Hey guys, stick with me on this video because I'm going to cover a bunch of different subjects. I'm going to help you understand how we can not use fertilizers anymore in our gardens. I'm going to talk to you about the DirtBooster product. I'm going to talk to you about how this whole life cycle takes place using organic materials naturally. We're going to talk about good fungus. We're going to talk about good bacteria. I'm going to show you a little trick to get your piles activated if you're using DirtBooster, because that can be a struggle sometimes in the cooler temperatures in the spring. Bunch of different stuff, so hold on. Why am I laughing? Look, I don't do Facebook a whole lot, but I just go on there and the kids and the grandkids, and I just check it. I think I got hit with about 30 ads for super great vegetable products. This is the most amazing thing that you'll ever have. You'll have twice the vegetables. Let's clear this up. There's only a few things that your vegetables and flowers need. The main nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's all it needs. It'll do better if you have good fungus and good bacteria. It'll do well if you add carbon to the soil, because carbon is the lifeblood of plants. And we do that through the biochar, humic acid, fulvic acid. Everything that you need for your gardens is now in one product, and that's DirtBooster. We have done this for over 2 years now. We've gone to Anderson's, asked them to create an all-in-one product for you guys to make it easy. You mix this up and put nothing else in your gardens, and you'll have fantastic results. So today, I'll show you how to make this what we call super compost, because it has everything you need. It has the carbon, it has the nutrients, it has good fungus, good bacteria. You take it and you mix it in with your garden soil, boom, and your plants just absolutely explode. So let me show you. We've done tons of testing on this, but just the past couple weeks I started doing some testing with some seedlings, and I'm going to show you the difference. Exact same growing conditions, everything was the same, except one tray we added DirtBooster, one tray we did not. So let me go show you that first so you can see it. Before I start this video and get in depth into DirtBooster and what we're doing here, I'm just going to give you I'm going to show you a comparison we did with some seedlings that we did. We're right at 4.5 weeks. And let me show you the growth difference and explain what we did with this test. We've done these tests for the past 2 years. Same thing happened. Here are two exact same products. These are exactly the same seeds, the exact same lighting conditions. Everything has been exactly the same except for one difference. This over here is the kind of vegetable garden soil that you would buy from a big box store that says it contains fertilizer. And then this is the same soil with the DirtBooster added to it. And these plants are identical in age. Actually, these germinated 2 days before these did. Everything is exactly the same, but look at the size difference. So you really need to get kind of close to see this difference. So look at this tomato plant versus this tomato plant. I mean, it's just, the size difference is just absolutely incredible on these things. These are actually sunflowers, and you can see the difference. We're talking, I would say 2 to 3 times the size, growth, and overall health of the plants on the ones with DirtBooster versus the non-DirtBooster. And it's pretty simple. We're just adding good things to this soil. This has more nutrients. This has more soil microbes and fungus and biochar. That's the difference. So that's an amazing testament to this product. So one thing that's important that we've really learned is that good fungus and good bacteria, along with the nutrients and the biochar, are really important, and we want to sustain those all year. So I will tell you that what I will be doing this year is we'll be coming out on a weekly basis, adding a booster, a microbial booster to our gardens. Let me give you one example. When you have good fungus, if these are your roots, your plant roots, the fungus actually goes in and sort of attaches itself to the roots and becomes an extension of those roots. It helps it pull in nutrients, it protects it from disease, and everything good happens. So we want good fungus, we want good bacteria, we want the nutrients, and we want the biochar to hold on to all that inside, and it's all done with this one product. But I had a little bit of a struggle this week, and that was getting my piles to fire up, to activate, because it's actually kind of chilly out here. Right now, my hands are cold. It's 45 degrees out here. So I figured out a little way, a little tarp method, a little trick that you can get your soils to activate when it's a little bit colder. So remember, we make these super compost piles. We let them heat up. They'll get up to like 130 degrees or higher. Once that's done, and once it starts to cool down, we'll take that and we'll mix it into our garden soils. And now we're transferring all that good stuff into our garden beds. Then we go ahead and we can plant our plants inside of there. But we also do, during the season, we'll be adding a little bit more, top dressing a little bit more of this, and we'll be spraying a little bit of the microbial booster to keep all those microbes and fungus going all year long. We just don't want to do it once and then walk away from it. We want to add a little bit every few weeks. We're going to add a little bit to sort of sustain that process. So anyways, let's go forward and I'll show you. So I've got my little, I use these cheap meat thermometers. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you the pile that we finally got to fire up last night. I'm going to uncover it and show you what it looks like. A beach towel and some straw over it, just to try and retain some of that heat in there. But can you see the steam? Look at that. That's crazy. Let's see. And you can smell it. It smells like dirt. It doesn't smell like poo. Let's see where we are. So we are at 137, 138. We'll probably get up to about 140 degrees. But you can just see all this steam coming off here. It's just incredible. (140 degrees). And you can see that there's a white fuzz that's starting to grow on this, and that's the good fungus right there. That's what we want to see. So we'll take this, we'll take a scoop of this, we'll mix it into wherever our plants are growing all through here. So one of these piles, which is one bag, I would say I can probably do at least 2 of these full beds with one pile. I may probably even stretch it out to 3 beds. So that warm pile, that pile right there, is loaded very, very strong in nutrients, high in good fungus, good bacteria, biochar, everything your plants need. You will put nothing else into your garden, nothing else into your plants. The only thing you will want to do during the year is probably make a couple of piles, maybe once a month, make another pile, add some more into your beds on the top, and then spray with the microbial pack. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's amazing what happens. Okay, so now the question's going to come up. Okay, Doc, so if I'm not adding fertilizers to my garden, where do all the nutrients come from? Let me explain this as simply as I can. This is a tray of organic material. Over there, I've got chicken feed, I've got alfalfa pellets, and then I've got the DirtBooster product. So what happens with this? When you add clean organic material to your soil and you activate the fungus and the microbes, they digest this product. So they take this clean organic matter, regardless of what you use, it heats up, they digest it, and nutrients get released into the soil. And now I'm talking about a ton of nutrients. We sent it off to Clemson, and all the nutrients showed excessive in the super compost. So we take that and put that into the soil. So that's where all of our nutrients come from. But it's more than just nutrients. If you want to have healthy plants, you have to have a living soil. And how do you get a living soil? Good fungus, good bacteria, and biochar. And that's what the DirtBooster product does. Let me show it to you. Here's chicken feed. We've used chicken feed before. It's cheap. You can get it real cheap. Alfalfa pellets. And this is the DirtBooster. So the DirtBooster has a really, really fine, clean corn concentrate plus molasses particles inside of it. Now the black pieces are the biochar and humic acid. So it's everything that you need is inside here. We add that to some kind of compost manure we spray it with the microbial pack, and it comes alive. It comes alive. It'll start to heat up, and within 24 hours you'll see your pile get up to 110, 120, 130. We've had a pile get up close to 150 degrees. And that's the digestive process. And then we turn it every 24 hours. We make sure it doesn't dry out. We might add a little bit of water and let that digestive process happen. And in about 5 days, the pile will start to cool down. And right at that cool down point is the point that you want to transfer it into your actual soils. And that's how we get our garden soils alive and active. That's what we do. It's that simple. We don't do anything else all year. The only other thing you'll want to do is soil microbes and fungus are very sensitive, so they need to be sustained. So if you have a hot period move in, if you have some negative impacts, whatever it is, you may want to come back once a week with a light microbial spray just to boost it back up. That's what we're doing this year. This is warm tap water that's been sitting in the sun, so I'm sure it's probably close to 80, 85 degrees. It's warm. Again, temperature is important. That's what we've learned. We're going to put our microbial pack in here, and now I can make 1 bag of DirtBooster will make 2 bags of this compost usually, just so you know. So if you're going to split this up, only use half your microbial pack and half the DirtBooster. Shake it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a layer of the nice warm manure, DirtBooster, and microbial pack. Now you want to soak this fairly good. Now we're going to put in another light layer of the manure, layer of the DirtBooster, and soak it. Now I'm just going to keep repeating this. That's all I'm going to do. Now, these microbial packs actually have a little bit of molasses in them. So I've got molasses particles, corn, and humichar with the biochar. I'm just going to keep repeating this. I've got it nice and soaked in there. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix this up. And it feels nice and moist. If you want to poke a hole in it, you can poke a hole in it just for fun. I like to watch the steam come out, so just poke a little hole in there. And let's see what the current temperature is. Let's see here. So the current temperature of this pile is 74 degrees. 75, 77, 78. That's good. I think this pile will fire up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get yelled at by my wife. Where'd that beach towel go? And I'm going to come out and I'm going to just cover this up. And the only reason I'm covering this up is because we're having nights still in the 40s and I want to hold this heat in. I think one of the only questions I get on this stuff is any problems that people have is, hey doc, I couldn't get my pile to fire up. And it's always in relation to temperature. Organic material needs microbes, it needs fungus, it needs bacteria. And if you don't have warm enough temperatures, you don't use them. That's why we don't put organic fertilizers on our lawn until the summertime. It doesn't do any good. They have to be digested. So let me show you a trick that I've learned, because that pile didn't fire up. I had to come out and use my tarp method. Let me show you what that is. This pile did not fire up on the first night. It has to have that kickstart of temperature. So I took a tarp and late morning, I put it in a sunny spot. I dug all that stuff out. I put it on a tarp. I put it out thin, and I just let it sit here and bake for an hour or so. Then I came and turned it, misted it with a hose a little bit because, you know, it's going to dry out some. I just left it out here for a couple hours. Again, making sure it didn't dry out, mist it with a little bit of water. Once it got really warm, I took all that stuff, I dumped it back into here, and I covered it up with a beach towel and put a little bit of pine straw, and sure enough, that evening, the pile started firing up. And you can see it right now. It's 137 degrees, and you can see the steam coming out of it. I mean, it's just cooking away. And I can see a whole bunch of little white fungus growing out the outside of this. Now, I will tell you that the fungus will grow on the outside if you have it covered a little bit, because that needs moisture. So, and I will come out here and I'll turn this pile. Probably, maybe tomorrow, I might turn it and just make sure it doesn't dry out, because that heat and the steam, it's going to want to dry out a little bit. Just spray it, mist it with a little bit of water, and it's going to be ready to go. All this brown organic material is going to disappear. This is going to turn solid black, because it's all going to be digested, and all those nutrients are going to be released. Then we can take portions of this and put it into our garden beds wherever we're going to have plants, and we're done. Morning. Okay, so it's been 2 days since we did this, got this pile to fire up. And what I'm going to show you, one of the keys to organic matter and having it digest quickly is surface area. So the more surface area you have on your organic matter, the faster that the microbes are going to eat it and digest it. That's why we went with this real flaky corn concentrate. It just instantly gets eaten. It's a fast process. Now, I will tell you that when we built our beds this year, we mixed some of this DirtBooster product right into the soil. So the soil has DirtBooster in it already. And then we're going to take some of these piles, the activated piles, and move it into the beds. You understand that? So we put some into the soil already. And then we're going to be moving more of it, the fungus and bacteria. That's the key to this, is getting that fungus and bacteria into your soils and then keeping it alive. If you have real high temperatures and drought conditions, your fungus and bacteria can die off. And that's why we're going to do, every week or two, we'll come out with a light booster spray, and I'll put a link to the booster pack, everything down below. But let me show you what this looks like. What you're going to see when I open this pile up is almost all the brown that was in here, which there was a ton of that corn material, it's almost gone. First, let's look at the surrounding soil temperature. Someone asked me that. So the surrounding soil temperature is 58 degrees, 57. So my beds are still cold and inactive. And now let's take a look at this. And I'll probably be about 120 degrees. You can see the smoke, the steam coming out of there. But what I want you to see is look at all this beautiful good fungus. And it's all through this pile. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open this up and show you that there's almost no brown left. Very little of that brown. I got some wheat straw in there. See how all the white specks in here now? All the white specks are all that corn product being digested. And there's almost no brown material left in here. Look at that. It's almost all gone. And it's hot. I mean, there was a point, my son stuck his hand in one of these piles and he went, damn, he said, that's hot. That's hotter than, that'll burn you. So there we go. So this is the good stuff. This is the lifeblood of our soils. And what we'll do is we will take this activated pile, we'll take a scoop, mix it into the soil wherever our plants are going to be, and we'll do that for all of our plantings. And my soil will now have nutrients. It'll now have biochar, carbon, humic acid, fulvic acid, and it will have the lifeblood of that fungus and bacteria. That's how we do this. That's the only thing we use in our gardens. Nothing else is added. No more fancy fish products. No more crazy chemicals of whatever. That's it. That's all we do. Massive results. We have had massive, huge crop harvest just by using this one. So anyways, guys, hope you try the DirtBooster. It's a fantastic product. Again, this has been under development for over 2 years. It's finally getting ready to hit the market. I'll link to it in the description down below. Talk to you later. Doc.